Hi
Good afternoon.
everyone.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome
We are back.
to our afternoon game session. My name's Marion. I'm a teacher with Everyday English, and I'm here with our wonderful volunteers, Pel and Khadija, who are coming in this afternoon to help you and me to play a game to help us learn English. So if you've been with us before, then you'll remember that this is a way to learn English in a more light-hearted way, and more of a fun thing. Learning does not always have to be sitting in front of your book, reading about tenses and vocabulary. Games can be great practice and also help you learn, sometimes without even knowing that you're learning. And we're lucky with the internet, there are so many resources around. So Pel and Khadija, we were talking about this before we started. Today's game talks about the passive voice. And I know you both said, we're not sure what the passive voice is. Hi, Georgia.
Hi, Georgia.
Hi.
And you were saying, but when I told you what it was, of course you did know. It's just that because native English is your native language, you didn't know it was called the passive voice.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the passive voice, it's when we want to talk about something, but we're not sure who did it, or it's not important who did it. So we create our sentence in a different way, using the passive voice. So I have a little game for us to play to have a look at that. Let's see if I can just pull that up for us.
Yeah.
Okay, can everybody see that?
Yeah.
I can, yes.
Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to start it up. Okay, so in this sentence, Khadija and Pel, which one of the boxes, which phrase would you put in these dots?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go. Don't worry. The house was destroyed by the fire.
Excellent. So yeah, that's correct. So is that the passive voice? Do you think, Khadija, or is it the opposite, which is we call the active voice? Is that passive or active?
I'm just gonna guess.
Yes.
The active? I don't know.
I think
Yes.
it's active, yeah.
This is actually the passive, I'm afraid. So the difference is when we make a sentence, yes, Georgia, well done. When we make a sentence, we usually make it by talking about the subject, the person who does something, and then the verb, and then the object, who is the person or the thing that something is done to. But sometimes we either don't know who did the thing, so we aren't sure what the subject is or who the subject is, or it doesn't matter so much. So we don't use the subject in that way. And we also use this passive voice in academic essays. So if you're watching and you are doing your IELTS exam, thinking about going to university or joining a professional body, then you will have come across the passive voice, because this is expected from your writing and you're expected to understand it in your reading in the IELTS exam. So in this case, Pel, what do you think is the subject in this instance?
Oh, the house.
Who or what did the thing?
Is it the house?
Yeah, I think it is.
Was it the fire?
Oh.
It is fire.
The fire.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
destroyed the house.
Oh, okay. I understood that. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
but in this case, for whatever reason, in this case, I would say perhaps somebody has decided that the most important message in this sentence is that the house was destroyed.
Mm.
It doesn't matter quite so much what or who destroyed it. So this is why they've used the passive was destroyed. So the house was destroyed by the fire. Okay, let's have a look at the next.
Oh.
Now that is very strange. Let me just see why that's doing that.
All the
Very-
technical difficulties today.
Yes. It's a COVID thing.
Yeah.
You've had COVID.
The bad
What?
luck of COVID.
Yes, what's happening here?
Maybe if
Oh.
you refresh.
Refresh and see what
Yeah.
happens. Good thinking. Nothing happens.
Oh.
Let's press start and we still have something very
Oh.
strange going on. Let me push through. Okay. Right, let's try then.
Looks quite cool though, Georgia said.
Very artistic.
An artistic. This has turned into an artistic lesson.
Yes, that's a very positive outlook. Thank you,
Yeah.
George. Let's have a look.
It's okay.
Just restart.
Looks quite cool though. Yes, absolutely. So let's have a quick look. What I might be able to do is let's try this one, which is can you now see this a new screen?
Not
No.
yet.
Not yet.
No. Okay. Let's just close this then. And yes, perhaps George is right. Let's close the browser and start it up again.
But yeah, I don't think about subject and passive, and I just speak and I just type.
Yes, of course. It's your language.
Yeah.
So
I think it's like that for anyone who speaks their native language. Like when it
don't
comes
realise
to
it.
yeah, it just comes out. So that's
what
I
was
think
what was the difference between what was it, passive, and what else was it?
Active. Active
Yeah.
is what we usually use. So again, we're not really going to necessarily think of that as another as something else, as you say. So I'm just going to try and share the screen again. We always use passive. So where my sentence there, we is the subject, always use passive. Passive is the object. But if I say passive is used by us, then I've changed it to the passive. So let's just quickly see if this is coming up again. Can you see it now?
yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Georgia. Brilliant idea. I did just restart the browser. So we've done this one. So thinking about that then, and having a look at the actual structure of this sentence, Khadiza or Pell, what do you think we would put here?
Would it be the school organises summer trips?
Yes, it would. And do you think this is a passive sentence or an active sentence?
Oh, this is going to be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Just think about who does it, who or what does it. That's the subject.
So
And
the
who or what?
school does it.
Yes. So the school does it. And what's at the start of the sentence? Is it the subject or is it the object?
The object.
The subject.
The subject.
Would
Yes.
that be
This is too much.
active then?
Yeah. No, this is
Reactive.
fine. Yeah, so it's active. Yes, we've got
Okay.
the school, which is the subject,
Yeah.
Yeah.
organizes, which is the verb, and then
Mhm.
summer trips, which are the objects. So this is an active sentence, one that we use more regularly.
Okay.
Okay, so organizes, yes. Okay,
Oh, I get it now.
Makes
I
none
that.
of us.
that. So what do you think about this one? Pal or Khadija? I'm not going to put either of you on the spot.
You go, Pelfie.
Thanks.
Just gonna put
Just pass it on to Pel.
Thanks a lot. So is it Mozart?
Mozart.
Um, composed the Magic Flute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for anybody who is watching, Mozart is a very famous composer. He is not alive now. Nothing he did, he doesn't do anything in the present. So anything, if we're talking about him, then we do talk about him in the past. And yes, so active or passive sentence, do you think?
Should I say what I think?
Yeah.
Yes, Khadija, please.
Okay, I think I've kind of got it now. I think it's passive because actually, would it be passive because it's? Oh no, actually, now I'm not sure. Pal, you can go.
Since Khadija said passive, I'll say, is it active?
It is active. So thinking
I was
about
like, wait a second, because it's not an object. He's not an object. So
he is not an object.
yeah.
That's right. He is the subject. He's the one who
Yeah.
does something.
For
Yeah,
some
that's
reason, I thought Mose was an object, but yeah, no.
yes. So Mozart, yeah, is as a person. He's the person who's doing something. So he is the subject, and the sentence is starting with the subject. So we are going to have an active sentence. Yep, very good.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put that in. Now think about it this way round. So we have the same information,
Yeah.
but how would we write this one? What goes here? Khadija, what do you think?
So the Magic Flute was composed by Mozart.
Absolutely, yes. And is it a passive sentence or an active sentence, Khadija?
Is it? Oh, what did I say before?
Active is the one we use more commonly, where
So
we use the subject at the start of the sentence.
would it be
Passive?
active? Because yeah. Oh, actually,
What's the subject?
I think it's a passive because it's
Magic Flute. I don't know.
changed.
Yeah, we're starting with the object.
Mm.
Yes,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, if we start with the object, which is the magic flute, the object is something is done to the object. In this case,
Oh.
Mozart composed the magic flute. So the subject composed the object. Okay, so was composed. Lovely, well done. And next. So Pel, what do you think of this one?
Summer trips are organized by our school every year.
Perfect. So passive sentence or active sentence?
So because it's starting off with the is it subject? Is summer trips the subject? I mean,
The subject is the thing or person that does something.
so it's the other one.
It's
what
the
was
other
it?
one, the
Yeah.
opposite.
The object is the thing or person that something is done
Yeah.
to.
So would
Yep.
this be a passive?
Yes, it would, because
Okay.
it's starting with the object. The
Yeah.
school is the thing that's doing something, and summer trips are the thing that something is being done to. They are being organized.
Yeah.
So good, lovely. So let's just put that in. So George Lucas, famous director, Star Wars.
George Lucas directed Star Wars.
Yep, very good. And we've got it in the past because it happened in the past. So why have we gone with, is this an active sentence or a passive sentence, Khadija?
Would it be active because he's not an object?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, he's the subject. George Lucas did the thing.
Yeah.
Star Wars had something done to it, in this case, directing. So, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. George Lucas is the subject. He did something.
Okay.
So, George Lucas directed. Well done. Now, turning that around. Pearl, what do you think about this one? Are we starting with the subject or are we starting with the object?
We are starting with the
The
object.
object, right? Oh, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have answered.
Yeah. Thanks, Khadija.
We're starting with the object. So is it a passive sentence or an active sentence?
So it would be a passive.
Good. So what is our correct answer here?
Is it Star Wars? I don't know. Is it directed by George Lucas or Star Wars? It would,
Actually,
it wouldn't be. If it
the
was
middle one.
it doesn't sound right though. Star Wars were directed by George Lucas.
well,
Yeah.
actually, well spotted, because that is a mistake in this
Mm.
game. And I looked through this before I did it, and I missed this. Star Wars is, I mean, obviously there are many wars, so it's plural, but actually because it's a name, it's singular.
Mm.
So you're absolutely right. It should be was directed.
Yeah.
One
Was
film.
directed, yeah. Star Wars was directed.
So I'm going to put this in, but bear in mind that Callum Khadija, if you're watching, Callum and Khadija have got that right. It was actually the game that got it wrong. So, William Shakespeare, something Hamlet.
So William Shakespeare wrote Hamlet.
Very good. What's the subject in that sentence?
Is it Hamlet? No, Hamlet is the object.
Yeah.
And then William Shakespeare is the subject, I think.
You see, I think this is quite hard for somebody who's a native English speaker, because in our heads,
confusing.
The subject, it means something, has different meanings.
Mm.
So actually, we always think of it, I think perhaps it seems more difficult to apply that word, subject, to in this particular meaning.
Yeah.
But if you can think about object as something that is done to, then that does help. So William Shakespeare, if you don't know who William Shakespeare is, he is a very famous English playwright from, let me think, about 500 years ago, who we still watch plays and quote and use to this day. Very famous English artist. And Hamlet is one of his most famous plays. So let's say wrote. Yeah, absolutely. What's next then? Again.
Hamlet was written by Shakespeare.
Well done. Yes. So Hamlet, is it the subject or the object?
So we said that it is the object.
Yeah.
Yep, it is the object. And if we're starting the sentence with the object, we need the passive tense. Yes, very good. Okay. What about this one? Again, I think this is a turnaround of one we've already looked at. What do you think, Pearl?
The fire destroyed the house.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Well done. Yes, the fire destroyed the house. So what is the subject? What is the thing that's doing something?
These you can go for it.
Okay, So I remember we had this at the start. So the fire was. Is it the subject or was the object?
It is. Yeah.
So
Was
then the house is the object.
something? Yes, the fire is destroying.
So that would be active, and then.
Yep. No,
Okay.
absolutely. Well done. So the fire destroyed the house. Good. Okay, so what about this one? Khadija, what do you think?
The house was built by. So the house was built by my father. That one.
Yeah. Well done. Lovely. So, Khadija, what is the subject in this sentence? What is the thing or person that's doing something?
So would that be the father?
Yes, it would. Yeah, absolutely. And what is the thing or person that's having something done to it?
The house.
Good. Yeah. So is the sentence starting with the subject or the object?
So with the object.
With the object, yes. And if it starts with the object, then we need the passive tense. Another clue that we are using the passive is this word, by. Yeah. So this is to show that we do know what the subject is or who the subject is. Yeah. But we're just not using them in an active sentence. So my father built the house doesn't need by. The house was built by my father. We need that by to show that this is the subject. Okay, one more.
Last one.
Last one. So, either of you, what do you think? Joint effort.
I think it was. You go first, Pal, because it's your.
This book. Oh, this book was interesting. My mind.
Very good. So, this is an interesting one because we've used be. So was is the past simple version of be. And when we have be, it's sometimes a little bit more difficult to see what is the object because we're not really using an object. So this book is the subject.
Yeah.
Interesting describes the subject, but we haven't really got an object. So it would be hard. It would be harder to put this sentence into a passive form anyway, because we haven't got an object to work from. If we could say something like, this book was found interesting by the children.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you've got to you've made the book into an object, and then you've given a new subject, which is the children. But you would have to introduce that. Okay, so let's just put that through. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I think it started again, so we're not going to carry on. Let's just pause that and take that away. Okay, so well done. Did you feel? Let's take that away.
It was a bit confusing at the start, but I get it now, kind of.
Yeah, me too.
Had to think a lot there.
A lot.
I'm sorry. It's that Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
No, that's fine. I've learned something new.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you knew it anyway, didn't you? You will use that form yourselves. But for English learners, this is something that they have a slight advantage. People who are learning English as a second language learn the structure of the language, and they learn the reasons why we use that language. And when they become proficient, they can often end up being far better and better informed English speakers than us.
That's very true. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if you are learning English and you're watching, remember that you're learning things that we native speakers actually don't necessarily know. So You're doing well. And we've had some likes today from Emily May.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia, Nigel, and I apologize if I'm saying this wrongly, Chafal, but thank you for your likes. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed it. I know we've had lots of comments as well. Thank you so much, Pal and Khadija, for stretching your brains for
You're
me this afternoon.
welcome. Casually
we're going-
embarrassing ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to be back next Saturday. So with our conversation cafe at 10:30 and another game session at 1:30. And I know Khadija and Pal, you're very busy this week. We'll be seeing your faces on the community courtyard.
Definitely.
Yes, come and join us.
Yes, I will be. I will. Even if I can't make it, I will have to try and watch as well.
Yeah.
So please do keep in touch, everybody, and have a wonderful week. And we will see you next Saturday.
Take care. Bye.
Next week.
Bye.